You're listening to the PetaPixel podcast. For expert advice, incredible selection, and the best deals on photo, video, lighting, and more, you go to B&H. B&H is PetaPixel's new gear partner, and for even greater savings at B&H, we recommend the B&H Paybu credit card, which lets you save the tax. You pay the tax, and B&H pays you back instantly. Save the tax on eligible purchases shipped to eligible states. Or you can pay over time with our 6 and 12-month financing on minimum purchases of $199 for 6 months or $599 for 12 months. Terms apply. Learn more at bhphoto.com/Paybu. Credit card offers are subject to credit approval. Paybu credit card accounts are issued by Community Capital Bank.
Hey everybody, it's the PetaPixel podcast, and we're going to have a little different energy this week because I hurt my neck over the weekend, and I am on muscle relaxants for this one. So get ready for an easy ride with Chris Nichols and Jaron Schneider, and later we're going to have some predictions about what's going to happen in 2026. Oh yeah.
Wow. Are you really on muscle relaxants?
Oh, yeah, he hurt his neck. Wild prediction right off the top of the bat. Jordan is going to strain his back in 2026 at some point. That's my prediction.
Tall and full problems.
Yes, and his knee will hurt when he gets up out of a chair. That's my prediction for 2026.
I think those are bulletproof predictions. But we can look forward to some more. We got our friend Richard Butler from DPReview joining us this year to talk about some of the predictions coming up. We've all got a bunch of them. It was a lot of fun, so stay tuned for that. But we've also got some news stories, and we're going to get to your tech support this week as well. But I always like to kick things off with a question, as you guys know. And
what's your favorite muscle relaxant?
Robaxacet Extra Strong, man. It always does the trick, but I am a little bit sleepy. So I'm curious, the holidays are fast approaching, gentlemen, and I want to know, if you were good this year, what are you asking for? What are you asking for Christmas, boys?
I wasn't good this year.
No.
So I'll go because, and I'm bringing it up right now because I just like to look at it. There's no chance I'm getting this, but Bandai came out over a year ago and said this was coming, and it is finally available to pre-order. It's the Perfect Grade RX, the Perfect Grade New Gundam that is $700. Wow. It is really big. I think if I was to put it in this cabinet, it would take up the bottom all the way to that second shelf up here. Like, it's gigantic.
You need to build a new shed in your backyard.
I want it so bad.
Museum.
So yeah,
wow.
It's available to pre-order. It would show up after Christmas. It's like an early January delivery. I just can't afford it. And I'm sad I'm not going to be able to get it.
How much time off would you need to build that?
So the Perfect Grades typically take me about a month, but I'm not like working on them every day of that month. I work on them like maybe 9 hours a week. And then that's about a month of work. But I would go real slow on this one just to savor the build.
Chris, what do you got? Or what are you getting?
You know, so this is an honest answer. Like, I've reached a point where I just don't really want anything anymore.
You want to be left alone.
Yeah, and so part of it is a happy dad thing where it's like, I want my kids to have a good time at Christmas and enjoy the experience. But like, my two boys are adults now. My daughter's the only one that's still like a child now, and she's double digits now. So it's like, I want them to have a great time and enjoy themselves. But yeah, for me, I even said this Christmas, like, please don't get me anything. Like, I don't, other than like small little fun thing, I don't need anything. I don't really want anything. I've got so many fishing rods. Like, I don't need any more fishing rods. I don't need any more guns. I don't need any more hobbies. I don't need any more anything. Like, what I want for Christmas, honestly, is moments of clarity where I can then just like maybe assess, prioritize, and then decide what hobbies or interests or whatever that I do have time to tackle. I honestly spend so much time just sitting there in a stupor with my mouth open, like, what do I do with the next 40? Like, do I play a video? Do I like tie some flies? I don't know. Should I go fishing? Like, I don't even, like, it's at that point. So moments of clarity. That's what I want.
I'll see if we can give you some of those.
Depressing story.
Is it, or is it just I mean,
Is this
I'm
what
fortunate
it's like
that I
to age?
Well, yes, that is what it's like to age, Jaron. Yes, and
there's got to be another way.
I don't want to.
And like, dude, I'm not a wealthy man, but I am fortunate that I do have a lot of toys for the hobbies that I do enjoy. Like, I don't need any. I just want to be left alone.
Jordan, do you have anything that's less depressing than that?
I think I did. Well, I have something that was depressing the other day, which is I'm shooting some episodes on the gorgeous Sigma Izu Primes. A really nice character to them. Quite expensive. I am putting them on a tripod that is not good for them, and it is terrifying and incredibly stressful. I'm using the little Tribex small rig potato jet tripod. And
you do not like it. You do not like it. I don't like it.
If I extend that center column with these lenses on it, I feel like it's just going to snap on a 90-degree angle.
Wait, is this the original or the cheaper one?
This is the original, because the cheaper one's an even lower weight rating. So I got to sort this out. So
Jordan
Christmas, I'm going tripod shopping. So in the comments, recommendations, for putting like a good, nothing crazy, like a 4 or 5 kilo package, camera.
Yeah, we're not dragging out a sack focus.
Yeah, totally. Let me know what you guys like, because I am totally out of the loop when it comes to mid-range video tripods.
Carbon fiber,
at the store.
Lightweight but more stable, and with like proper leg
help me.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually haven't bought one of these in a while either. The last one I had was a Benro Aero, and I don't think that's a good idea. So, okay, yeah. Well,
I'll take your suggestions.
Before we get into it, I do want to say this is the season finale, season 4 of the PetaPixel podcast. I think we're at episode 114 now. So it's been quite a journey. Thank you all for being here with us.
We love doing it.
We're going to continue next year. That is the plan. We have been renewed. So we'll see you guys in 2026 for sure. Yeah, this is episode 114. I just confirmed it. So this is our farewell for the year. Hopefully it's a good one. Let's get to it.
Okay, we're back. And the reason why we are able to do this podcast is thanks to our fantastic sponsors, OM System. We want to thank you, Dave, for bringing us today's podcast, the season finale. They've been great support over the years. And that's because the holiday season is here and they've got some really good deals. The OM System Holiday Savings Event continues. There's still time. You can save $400 now on a new kit, cameras, lenses OM System makes, including the popular travel camera, the OM3. Everybody who has played with it has loved it. It is retro inspired. It's beautifully designed, but it's not just a good looker. It actually has a lot of the same capabilities, the same sensor as their top flagship OM1 Mark II, but it's under £1, so you can take it anywhere and it looks great on your shoulder. The best part is you can also pair the OM3 now with some fantastic compact travel lenses. They've updated the Zuiko 17mm f1.8 version 2 and 25mm f1.8 version 2. Strong, weather sealed, great dream lenses for street and documentary photographers, beautiful bokeh, and they really don't add a lot of weight or size, and they just look perfect on that OM3 body. You get that classic 34, let's go with 34mm field of view on the 17mm, that way I don't hate it, as well as a great 50mm normal range of that 25. These would be great street lenses. And if you want even more versatility, the Zuiko 8 to 25mm f4 Pro. Awesome ultra wide angle coverage, but nice that it goes into the normal range as well, so it just gives you that versatility. You could easily walk around with this lens all day without having to take anything else, and it is weather sealed. I know Jordan loves this one as well, so a great one lens travel setup or landscape lens. And those aren't the only travel lenses that turn the OM3 into the ultimate travel camera. Right now, almost every lens in the Zuiko line has a great sale price, so you definitely want to check that out. So whether you're like adding to your existing kit or you want to get a brand new kit, the OM3, the Zuiko lenses, these are great options to do it. This is the best time. Check out the full lineup at explore.omsystem.com/PetaPixel or go into your favorite local authorized OM System dealer today.
But still say PetaPixel to them with no prompting.
Please.
Just
Why
like
not?
walk up to the counter, PetaPixel. And they'll be like, that is a website and YouTube channel. Hopefully.
Now give me my sale. And they're like, yeah, no problem. Of course, we would to
on
anybody
sale.
who came in.
You weirdo.
Okay, well, with that, let's start with some news. So we have been pretty certain that this was the case for a while, but we finally got the best confirmation we could because for some reason Sony won't say it. Sony did not intentionally brick third-party lenses with the A7 IV. Viltrox has confirmed our reporting. They specifically state, let me bring it up here, nothing we've seen so far suggests any intentional behavior on the camera side. This appears to be part of normal post-release optimization that often occurs as new cameras are introduced. So I don't know why the internet decided that Sony was trying to screw them, and despite the evidence before their eyes, many still believe this, but it's not true.
No.
Yeah,
And,
I think... Oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Jordan.
I was just going to say, I think a lot of people are forgetting when this came out. Sony's been using the same processor or variations of it for a very long time now. This is a new processor, so there's going to be some learning curves for getting some optimization with some other accessories, I'm guessing, too, once this camera hits market. It might take a little bit of updating for everything to be compatible, but Sony seems to still be keeping on the same. You know, we're going to slightly downgrade the third-party lenses with the continuous autofocus, but they're certainly still going to be compatible and useful in most situations.
Yeah. We said this last time too. Like, it's a brand new camera, new processor. There's always going to be issues. And this is like never been different. So before accusing a company of like intentionally trying to destroy or whatever, ruin something like that, just, give it a bit of time. There's going to be teething issues and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
and if it still persists, well, then we can start the conspiracy theories.
It's been absurd, the level that I've seen this. Like, I even saw a review, which I disagree with greatly, that reduced their score because they claimed Sony was intentionally damaging performance with autofocus on third-party lenses, which is absurd. And I know they know it's absurd, but they wanted the clicks. So they got them, I guess. And we're not saying that Kai Wang, the first one who reported this, is not telling the truth. I'm certain he experienced problems. Like, I don't doubt it. Viltrox says they are aware that there are issues, but they're planning on deploying a fix this week to those lenses that photographers will be able to upload themselves. So, yeah, I don't know. This whole story is absurd, is crazy. I don't know why we had to write 2 stories about this, but we did. And apparently some people are still unconvinced. So whatever, I'm moving on.
This launch has just been like everybody losing their mind. Like, remember a week ago when there was they're applying active noise reduction to the images, which also turned out to not be a thing after some more testing from Bill Claff. Like, it is just a constant barrage of people like trying to poke holes in this camera. And I don't know specifically what has happened with Sony in the last few years.
There is a real hate for them.
There's a lot of venom for this camera out there. And it's weird because it's a good camera.
We should,
and that's our next news story. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, tied to that. But what I will say is, I think next year, early in January, we should have a talk. Maybe find someone who is really tied to, like, uses Sony a lot, has been part of the organization, like using their cameras for years, and ask them why they think public opinion has like turned against Sony. I want to hear that. So we'll try. But you're right. This is related to the next story. As Jordan mentioned, Photons to Photos does their dynamic range testing, and it turns out the A7 V sensor is even more impressive than it initially seemed, and it is not using baked-in noise reduction. It is using dual gain output. Right, Jordan?
Yeah, exactly. We still don't know the process on this. Like, it's a little early, and it's driving me crazy that neither Panasonic or Sony will tell us what's going on here, which is very odd because this is probably one of the most exciting developments in image quality that we've seen in a long. Like, when was the last time we got a stop improvement in dynamic range? Right.
Sure.
And
especially with a stacked chip.
The Nikon D810 was the last time. So this is a huge move. And we're just figuring it out ourselves. But the good news is for photographers, flip that thing to mechanical shutter and you are getting class-leading DR on a mid-range camera. It's very cool.
Yeah, with decent resolution. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we're not getting paid by them. We're not getting paid by them to say this. It's just the reporting of what's going on. So yeah, I don't know. We
don't even have an A7 V in our possession. We don't have one.
We don't have it. They don't even sponsor our stuff, man. Like they don't sponsor the podcast. They don't do it. Like they just make good stuff. And I think it'd be a good idea to have a representative on there to really not give us marketing BS. Just like, why doesn't anybody like you guys? So yeah.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying they're blameless. Obviously, there's things that you can be grumpy at them about for sure, and they have made certain decisions in the past that are questionable. But it's like that's all the company. It's just weird that this industry has so much brandism going on all the time.
I will say this idea that people are paid by companies to say things like Sony is incredibly cheap, guys. Like they don't pay anybody. Like it is so hard to get 1 cent out of them. So the idea that they're out there just spending money so people will say nice things is crazy.
And
I would love if they spent some money. We could use it, but they don't.
But straight up, like ambassadors, yes, they are paid to say nice things about.
Sure, ambassador programs.
But we're not ambassadors.
Sure. No,
we're not ambassadors for any company. Obviously, we never would be. So we'll do ads, but we're not ambassadors.
So I got some updates on that The Stringer on Netflix, which I don't think did very well, by the way. So one of the major players that remained pretty quiet through lead up to this, as well as through the release, was Dave Burnett. He was actually on the road that day when the picture, the Terror was taken, and they attempted to get him for the documentary, and he declined. I think he said a couple of things. They quoted him a bit, but turns out he wrote a story on the Washington Post, and then this part wasn't really that clear, so he put it on Facebook where he published the longer version of his opinion that didn't get fully published in the Washington Post. And he says that The Stringer, the producers, used a set of his photos without either permission or attribution, which is incredibly ironic.
Yeah. Can't do it. It's simple. Can't do it. Shouldn't do it.
Yeah. That's there's now a lot of what is going on with the production of this film. I have a feeling that a lot of the secrecy regarding The Stringer's release before it got picked up by Netflix was because I think they were afraid some of this was going to get discovered and they weren't going to be able to find someone to pick up the film and give them money for it. Yeah. And Netflix did. They got away with it. And now Netflix is the one who is producing it. Is likely, if Dave Burnett decides to sue, Netflix will be named in the lawsuit. And he has every right. Like he's got every right to sue and probably will.
You know what? Let's just hope that this is such a massive lawsuit that Netflix can't afford to buy Warner Brothers anymore. Like, I'm sorry, The Stringer just made the whole thing collapse.
Would you rather movies Sundance TV or Sundance buy them? I mean,
Skydance? No, man, there's no good solution here. No. So, no, it's all bad. Everything's bad. Moving on.
Okay, Jordan, you shot a video a couple weeks ago, and it looked really weird. And you didn't really like that lens that used it, and that lens is the 7 Artisans Floral Bloom. Yes. Do you stand by that opinion?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so this is not ideal use case for it, for sure. Basically what this lens does is it gives you big blurry streaks on everything except the very center of the image. And I saw some blurry streaks when I was looking at this lens, and I was like, I'm going to go try this out because we got direct sun today. So let's see how it does. And yeah, it looked awful, and it was super distracting, and I hated it. The process of editing it gave me a real headache. And Jaren was like, hey, could you write a couple paragraphs about that? And I did. And I said, I don't like this lens. And now comes the S storm. Go ahead, Jaren.
A lot of people think you've used it wrong, or
sure.
Like they argue. Here's the thing. The main argument is that you're supposed to be very selective about this.
Yes.
I think that your stance, which is that you can't change anything about the strength of the effect or move where it is exceptionally valid criticism for this. Like, sure, it's supposed to be specialized, but also having absolutely no wiggle room on how it does what it does, I think is bad. But what I will say is that 7 Artisans did want us to at least put some of their perspective in it, so I will do them that kindness. Here's a quote from them. The Floral Bloom is a highly specialized artistic cinelens, intentionally designed for extreme explosive bokeh, radical blur, and dramatic flare in niche applications like dream sequences, music videos, or low-light emotional close-ups, rather than as a general-purpose optic. The image traits in bokeh you mentioned are exactly the intentional extreme vibe we aimed for, echoing some YouTube comments about that altered vision feel. In daylight/broader scenarios, it can feel overwhelming, but in targeted low light point source setups, many creators get stunning dreamlight results. And you know what? I think it's $400.
Yeah.
Okay. Valid?
Yeah.
It's an effects lens. Yeah. You maybe use it for a shot, but this is an effect where it doesn't necessarily have to be optical. You know, you can just apply that as a filter in post.
And you know what, guys? Someone is allowed to not like something. That's okay.
I
You
was
guys don't
really
like Sony.
considering.
It's very pretty.
I was
lens
really
itself?
considering, like the physical lens, I was
Quality
thinking of doing the
anodizing,
whole podcast on the Floral Bloom today, but I
you should have.
Don't
Don't you
myself.
dare. Don't you
That would have
dare.
given me a headache. Yeah, watching that video was very difficult.
I will say though, honestly, and this is subjective, but like I found the effect too strong. Like even if I was going to use it for like a dreamlike sequence, I still think it's a little heavy-handed, to be honest. But
that's why I think it needed to be tunable. Like
because
you can turn it up and down.
your sweet spot for actual proper like,
minuscule.
focus is incredibly small.
It's like the size of a nickel on a 4K screen. Like it's very, very tight.
But
Anyway,
again, it's a
If
special.
you guys like this, no one's telling you that we don't. You have to agree with us. If you like the look of this lens, go buy it. I'm not stopping you.
Yeah.
Neither is Jordan. Jordan just says he doesn't want.
And
to
now
use
you
it.
know how definitely not to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next story. A Japan Railway, specifically JR East, is begging people, specifically photographers, to stop being dangerously stupid. Apparently, there is a major problem with train photographers in Japan to where they are putting themselves in some serious danger. And I actually watched a video, we have it in the article and linked in the description below, of guys like stacked up on the rail line as the train is approaching them.
Yeah, that was nuts.
That's
Not
insane.
only we're talking like tens of people and literally using the person in front of them as a tripod, and it's like you got people laying down at the front and then kneeling behind them and then standing behind them and then people on ladders behind them. Like it was like a wedge of flesh, right? Just a flesh wedge.
And it's so stupid. It is so irresponsible. And like the other thing too is, so the JR East is putting out a poster, like a billboard thing that they're going to put in their like their stations, and it shows 4 examples of what not to do, and these are suspiciously specific. Like people have done these. One of them is
don't put a ladder.
Don't bring a ladder and set it on the edge of the train line and climb on top of it.
Yeah. Don't lean in or go on to the train tracks. That's pretty obvious, but no, they had to show it.
Don't block the the strip with bumps on it for blind people
and for handicapped use areas.
Just like stand there and block it with your photo taking. And then also don't use such a long selfie stick that you actually come in contact with the electrical like lines running at the top of the train.
Which means that has happened.
All 4 of these are like I said, suspiciously specific. The latter one blows my mind, that someone walked in with a ladder and set that up and thought this was okay.
I do love those. So the name that's being given to, because Japanese love names. They love 2 things. 3 things, actually. Japanese people love being respectful with rules. They love giving something a name. So these photographers are specifically called toritetsu. And they love animating them with anthropomorphic animal caricatures, so they're all birds, which is fantastic in this thing.
No
but,
foul play on the platform.
No foul play.
Get it? Foul, FOWL, right? You get it?
But and so you might think, okay, you got people who are taking dumb risks at photos. I mean, that's pretty common in the photo industry, or being a nuisance or being disrespectful. Like that happens all across the board. We know how many people are, even if it's not dangerous, how many people are wandering out with a selfie stick in their camera, not paying attention, bumping into and stuff. That happens everywhere. But this goes beyond that. Like there are situations where if you watch this flesh wedge, it's incredibly unsafe, disaster waiting to happen. But also like there are some accounts of like toritetsu getting violent or aggressive with people that just happen to be in a public space, and they get in the shot, so they're trying to get this train shot. They're trying to get this beautiful moment, and then somebody rides their bike through by accident, or like not by accident. They're allowed to.
Yeah, they're traversing the city as they are allowed to do.
And these photographers are then showing serious aggression, or getting mad at them, physical altercations. Like it's totally out of control. So yeah, wow. It's nuts. I never would have expected that to this degree. Like it's definitely.
Especially in Japan, where, as you said, one of the things they love is obeying the rules and keeping within the lines. This is very, very much not in line with coloring in the lines. A lot of lines. I'm saying line a lot.
Trained photographers are a special breed. We'll just say that. Trained photographers are a special breed, and a special breed of bird, apparently. Yes.
Anything to add, Jordan?
Nope. Don't do this. I think it's hilarious, but don't do it. Like, it's a shame it's come to this.
Here in the United States, we've been like, yeah, you shouldn't take pictures on, like, take portraits on rail lines. Like, that's really stupid and dumb. But, like, we don't have nearly the train activity that Japan does.
Yeah.
And, like, the fact that this is a problem, it still is. I cannot believe how big of a deal this is. And like Chris has described, go watch the Flesh Wedge.
It's nuts.
There's so many people on there, and you can see like a conductor or like someone who works for the train line is like running up, like trying to get them to move because they are like moments from getting run over by a train. And
I have a real aversion. I have a real aversion to the inappropriate use of literal, but people are in this Flesh Wedge literally running for their lives because a train is coming, and they are like, getting
some
out
of them
there
haven't
at the
moved
last
yet.
moment. Yeah. It's nuts. It's nuts. Yeah.
All right, 2 more stories. The Z9. Nikon Z9 got yet another firmware update this week, and the autofocus and subject detection are even better than before. This is probably the most supported camera of all time. This is they continue to make this thing better, and happened again. Version 5.3.
We have to test it. Yeah. But I mean, the Z8 already had some of these updates ahead of time, right? Not all of them.
They're just balancing it across the line. Like the picture profiles are now supported throughout. But yeah, it's just great to see. I do think, this took the crown from the X100 as the most updated camera ever.
Yeah.
All right. Last one. The CP Plus show, the photo show in Japan, is slated to be the largest one in its history.
Can we go?
I mean,
I'd like to go.
I'm going to go.
Can we go?
I know you're going. I'd like to go.
So we
Can we go?
Okay. All right. Last year was a really big year for CP Plus. Tons of new camera announcements. And I think that as a result of that, things have grown this year. They have a record 148 exhibitors. They had 56,000 visitors on site and approximately 420,000 viewers online. So they're, as of December 10th, and there could be more, they have 148 people still. And my camera just died. That happens all the time. Sorry, folks. As I change this battery out, I'm going to hand this over to Chris and Jordan to talk briefly about CP Plus.
I mean, it's a very cool show. We were lucky to be able to go last year, and it was fantastic to meet everybody and sort of see the whole thing. And we had beautiful weather too last year. I hope if somebody brings us out there, it'd be great. We'd love to have the same weather. That was awesome, right, Jordan?
Yeah, totally. And I think the big thing that we saw change last year when we were there is, CP Plus has always been a show where you see occasional announcements and everything, but it really felt like Photokina in that major announcements from most of the brands were happening during that show. I think we had like 6 episodes prepped before we left for that. And I think that's a really good indication. The more exciting announcements, the bigger the show is going to be. It's just going to keep on expanding. Yeah. But I do think this is the defining photo show now in the world. I mean, Build was certainly interesting.
Build's pretty cool too.
But Build's not annual.
This is still... and this is going to be an annual show where people can actually anticipate making major announcements. So we'll be busy that time.
It's nice. So it's still a free show, which is very tough to manage for the majority of the people that are visiting. And they're, every year it's more drones, more other gear. And we should really be supporting these things as photographers because Photokina disappearing was sad. And then other photo shows, of course, have also started to weaken. So we got to really go with the ones that are still doing well. So I would love to see it again.
CP Plus is probably not going anywhere, not only because it's the largest international show specifically for photography that's left, international being the key. B&H is very North America focused.
Yeah.
They also are run by SIPA, which is the group that, gives you battery life numbers on cameras for shots and whatever. So like, and it's run like the people who are running SIPA are and the CP and CP Plus are like of the camera brands. So they have a vested interest in making sure that this continues. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go now to a discussion with Richard Butler from DPReview, and we're going to give our bold predictions for 2026.
Get ready.
All right, let's get to it.
It's time again for one of everyone's favorite segments. You know, we've been getting, looking back at the year quite a bit, doing the best and worst recently, kind of taking a look at 2025, and I'm tired of 2025. I want to talk some 2026. And I thought to myself, who haven't we had on the show for a little bit? And Richard Butler jumped right to the top of mind. So we've got Richard Butler from DPReview here, and we've all got some predictions. How's it going, Richard?
Oh, it's pretty good. Yourself?
Oh, I'm good, I think.
Well, Jordan's done with this year, apparently. I thought it was a great year, though, right?
But I like to look forward into the future now.
I look
crazy year.
I look into the past. That way I never actually improve myself or correct anything or heal any traumas.
Look back to when your hair was less grey.
Oh, dude. Like, that was a long time ago, Richard, that you know. Was it even black when we hung out? I don't know. I think it was already well on its way.
The process had begun by the time we jumped over there. But this is going to be great. But I do want to talk. This has become an annual tradition now. So before we start throwing out, I guess we are jumping back into the Wayback Machine because we're going to talk about our predictions from last year. And I think Jaren's got those handy. And I haven't looked at these. So I'm going to be surprised by my own stupidity here.
Yeah, briefly, we'll recap. Yeah, this is part of it, how bad our predictions were last year. And for listeners who listened last year, remember Becca Farsacci joined us last year, and she had one prediction, one bold prediction, and it was every major camera company is going to release a point-and-shoot camera in 2025. And did it look like she was right. At the very beginning, she was like, as soon as Panasonic dropped that one, like at the end of the year. The
ZS99 right in January, I think.
Yeah.
Like, man.
She's on to
cracked
something.
the code. No.
We also got the GR4 this year, but every company? No. Nikon did not release one. I guess you could argue Canon did. Because
they stripped down the one. Yeah, power shot.
One?
Yeah.
Does that count?
I call that a video camera. I'd struggle to say point and shoot.
What
Not
about
really a renaissance?
RX1R from Sony? Does that count?
I don't know. I feel if you get to that point, you're calling like Leica's point-and-shoot cameras at that point, right?
I think we're losing the spirit of the initial prediction at that point.
Yeah. We'll go with no. Bold prediction did not succeed, so we're 0 for 1 here. The next
Can
one
we get a hockey buzzer sound effect there? I know I'm springing this on you right now.
I don't have it handy. Prediction 2, I believe this was my prediction. Canon will release a high-resolution version of the R1. And not only that, they specifically looked me into the windows of my soul and told me they'd never do it.
We're not doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Wrong. Some other company will release a brand new 35mm film camera, and it'll probably be Fujifilm.
That didn't happen.
That did not happen. We're 0 for 3 here. Nikon will announce the Z5 II, and it'll use the same sensor as the Z6 II. We got one, right? Did it use the same sensor as the Z6 II?
Yeah, it's the good old 24.
All right. So we're 1 and 3. The next one was OM System will announce a new camera, and it'll be a successor to the OM5. That did actually happen, except successor is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence. It is the same camera, but technically this is true. So now we're 2 and 3.
It switched its shade of lipstick, so that's nice.
Yeah, it's tan now.
Yeah.
Fujifilm will make a big push for faster scanning sensors in the GFX range, probably at lower megapixels.
No.
Did not happen. And the Fujifilm GFX Eterna won't be the only medium format cinema camera next year. I don't think that's true either.
No.
I don't think a new one came out.
No.
Apple will release a photo editing software that sits between Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom. This was because they acquired Photomator. That did not happen.
Jeez, we suck at this.
Sigma's full-frame Foveon camera will finally arrive.
Why do people listen to us? This is madness.
Okay,
I said you got I said you guys were crazy for that one. I was
So
like, no
I've
way.
learned my lesson. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about Foveon in bold predictions ever again.
No.
The number 9 was Sony will launch an A7R6 and it will feature a jump to 80 megapixels. Pentax will announce a new film camera as under development. The opposite happened. The guy who made the last one left the company. And the last one was a bonus prediction. Nikon will make its third special lens model to join the Plena and the Noct. That also did not happen. So I believe we got two right? Yeah, 2.
If only they had named the 35mm 1.2 with some sort of name on it, that would have sealed the deal for us, Lara.
I know. But that still would have resulted in only 3 of 11. That's not a passing
right.
grade.
You're
The
right.
good news
Setting
is
a low
we got
bar.
good odds to do better this year.
Yeah. Well, now that Richard's here,
Yeah,
our predictions will be bang on.
I just have to get one that's plausible, and that might even be better than last year. I'll do my best.
I still feel like
predictions butts up against. Yeah, like how many did you get right?
I feel like the prediction should be a little bit bold. Yeah.
I think we should strive for a 50% passing
Okay,
rating
well,
here.
we'll see.
We didn't get that far. Let's try this year, but still be no less bold. So, to kick it off, Richard, you're going to start. What is your bold prediction, your first bold prediction for 2026?
I mean, I'm going to cheat and go with the really, really obvious one and suggest that despite there being a major firmware update just recently for the Z9, I think we're going to see a Z9 2. And my prediction is it will have content credentials because they've been trialing it in a Z9, but apparently it doesn't have the necessary hardware. So we'll see content credentials, and I'm hoping we'll see the next generation of stacked CMOS sensor and see what that's capable of. But that is kind of cheating because I think everybody assumes that's going to come. So on the... Oh, sorry, are we doing Z or Z? Are we doing Commonwealth British or...
We're doing
you're an
Z,
American
man.
now, so
We can completely-
You should do Z.
I disagree. We could finally outnumber Jaren here and completely squelch the Z's.
Okay.
But you just got your citizenship. You have to support your nation.
I feel much less happy about it than I did when I got it, but let's not go down that route. In terms of predictions for the next year, I made quite a major mess up on that one. In which case, can I have another one? I think it'll be interesting to see if there's a Z30 replacement. And if I was sitting in Nikon's marketing department, I'd probably call it the ZRC. Make it a bit more vlog focused than the ZR, but yeah, sort of. I just don't know how well they've been selling, but I think it's time for a refresh. And there are some what they've done with the Z52 is good. So yeah, vlogging version of that ZRC. You heard it here first.
Z30.
Yeah, I think there's room for that for sure. Like the Z52 kind of just killed Nikon's entire APS lineup. I kind of feel a little bit.
All right.
Alrighty.
Jordan, what's your first bold prediction?
My first bold prediction, I like leaning on the Nikon thing, and this occurred to me quite recently. They're in an odd place in their mid-range full-frame lineup right now because they brought out the Z6 III, which we loved, fantastic camera, but there was quite a bit of an image quality penalty moving to that partially stacked sensor in terms of dynamic range. It's been discussed to death, and we've seen other companies now being able to work around that. The S1 II from Panasonic and now the Sony. We're seeing that, I mean, I'm not going to say specifically how they're doing it, but they're combining images to increase dynamic range on that, which is making Nikon look a little bit behind. I suspect we will see their first S-series camera in a very long time, a Z6 III's, which will, when using the mechanical shutter, do the image combination to improve dynamic range will be the main benefit with very few add-ons beside that because the rest of the camera is still extremely competitive. That's my wild swing.
An update on the Z6 III.
Z6 III's. I'm naming it.
I like it.
And it will then be.
I do like it.
It will be $3,200 US is what it will then be, right?
Well, we've really seen the price dip on the Z6 III as well,
Yeah,
which
it's like
also makes me think.
21, 22.
Yeah,
it's
it's
really
like 21
cheap.
now. It's really come down.
Yeah. I think the value for dollar on the Z6 III right now is very, very good.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And actually, one of my other predictions, what Jordan was saying about this sort of combined high and low gain technology that we've just seen applied to the 24 and 33 megapixel chip. If we see that applied to, say, the 61 megapixel full frame or the 26 megapixel BSI APS-C sensor, we're off to the races. That suddenly opens up the possibility for all sorts of other cameras this year. So can I steal the A7R6 idea and say, partially stacked version of the 61 megapixel sensor? I don't think anyone else has claimed that one. So surely it's time.
With bags of DR, that would be certainly interesting. It's funny, even back when we were with DPR, I put out a predictions video that the A1 sensor was reading out so fast it could be used for frame stacking or something like that. Was something I predicted that never came to fruition, but now, hey, there's a good chance.
All right. I'm next on the board, and I'm going to go with one that this is not to me that bold. This is a prediction that I feel very strongly about, and I would be shocked if it didn't happen. Fujifilm will announce X-Trans 6, and with that, the camera that will come out as the primary example of its use will be X Pro 4. And that will happen not just in the first half of the year. I think that's a Q1 product. I expect it before April, May, somewhere in there. And I don't know what they will do other than update the processor and the chip. But my hope for X-Trans 6 is let's keep it at 40, but make it faster.
Yeah, I think that's sensible.
Only there were a technology on the horizon that might do that.
We've been waiting for this for a long time. I think it's going to happen as well. But I definitely think it would have to have some real changes to the hardware side. Because if it doesn't, it is just going to inflate.
Is the annoying screen gone?
Yeah, they know that the little ribbon cable was a mistake. They're fully aware that was a fragile thing that they can't do again.
But I mean more so is just like they have too many cameras. Like they have too many cameras spanning their entire lineup. It's already saturated. And they're all relatively based on design changes as opposed to hardware changes. So yeah, I mean the X Pro 4, I think they've been holding off because they really need to make a big change to it to then lead forward where the technology is going to go for all the updates on the other cameras. But regardless, I think they're going to have too many cameras.
Yeah, well, I think they enjoy that. Sorry, Richard.
I guess so, yeah. Because like the X Pro, honestly, the X Pro, I know a lot of people love it. It's never really appealed to me that much. The only novelty is the hybrid viewfinder, and it's sort of, the rangefinder looks have been taken across all the other lineup now. So I don't know, man. I'm not super excited about it, but I think you're right. It'll happen.
Yeah, I mean, they have said they'd do it, but can I build on Jaren's prediction and say, yeah, I think if we see the next generation of sensor and processor arrive, and if we start to see, maybe a faster version of the 40 megapixel sensor, what would that do to the XH series? Could we get instead of having to choose between resolution and video capability in what's nominally a hybrid camera, could we get a fast 40 megapixel one that gives you the resolution and the video capability?
We absolutely could.
And that would
address that'll address one of Chris's concerns. They have too many cameras, so they would just shuffle two off and smush them into one. That would be, I think, the next logical camera to come out after the X Pro. So that would also arrive sometime next year, but later.
I'm going to say September 13th. I'm going to be even more. I'm going to out-specific you.
Wow. September sounds right. The 13th is very specific. I need to go look.
I should check which day of the week that is. It's probably Sunday.
Yeah, it's probably not a viable day.
I predict they'll release it the same day as the Apple iPhone launch. That's what I predict.
This 13th is a Sunday, so that seems unlikely, but possible.
15th. Okay.
All right, Chris.
My turn.
Yeah.
I think this is it, man. I think this is the year that Nikon and Canon are going to crack, or at least one of those two companies, and allow Sigma to make full frame, fully compatible glass for their full frame mounts, not just their APS-C lineup. I think there's a lot of public pressure out there. I think everybody's recognizing that costs are getting really high. Sigma does give you good value for the dollar. I don't know Canon, they did release that little 45mm lens, so they are making an effort to release some more affordable optics. They do recognize that issue, so they might be a tougher nut to crack, but maybe Nikon will. I don't know. We'll see. They both have challenges they have to overcome. Nikon possibly with a relationship with another third-party manufacturer that they're very deeply ingrained with, and Canon just not wanting to let anybody else make lenses for their mount. But I think this year, that's my prediction, someone's going to crack.
I think if one does, they both will.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, Nikon has, well, they've both allowed Sigma to make APS-C, so I don't think there's a difference in terms of partnership, in terms of, relationship with Sigma, but come on, the Sigma I series lenses would make so much sense on the Nikon ZF. I mean,
Totally.
that would be lovely.
There's it's not just that. It's like almost all of Sigma's really nice, very specific pro optics, their sport and their art lines, like make a ton of sense on Nikon mount. That's why I think there's got to be something blocking it. I think Nikon doesn't really have any business decisions that would block it, because they're trying to gain market share. So they want to sell bodies just as much as they want to sell lenses, and they already allow everyone else. So that's why I'm just thinking there's got to be more to this story.
Yeah, there's a Z-mount Viltrox sitting right over there.
I was going to say, do they allow those other manufacturers, or are they just less keen to pursue them through the courts than Canon was? Because Sigma, because of the APS-C lenses, we know they have a licensing agreement. Therefore, they're agreeing to Nikon's terms. I suspect a lot of people, a lot of other manufacturers, are just going, well, let's see if they sue us. Because of course, Canon did try and sue Samyang, so everyone's a bit gun shy when it comes to Canon. But
Tamron actually does have a full, Tamron wouldn't make that risk, and they have full frame optics on Z-mount.
Yeah.
But are they those, that art series level of optics that's going to compete directly with Nikon's? But I think you're right. I think ultimately Nikon is in the position where it most needs to gain market share and reestablish itself as it's re-entrench its position in the big three. It would make most sense for them. I'm not sure I'd predict it's going to happen, but it would be lovely.
We shall see.
Well, what do you predict is going to happen, Richard? Because you're next. You're back. What's the next one?
Well, I'm going to almost make the same mistake as was made last year. Sorry if any noise bleeds through. I did ask them to stop hammering upstairs. I did not specifically mention drilling. So
that's probably what they said. Well, he said hammering.
Yeah. Drilling, that's not going to turn up on a podcast. So I think I'm going to make the same mistake as last year. Somebody surely has to make an enthusiast compact. Not just one from 10 years ago with, a new screen because they can't get the old ones anymore. So, G7X replacement, G1X replacement based on the V1.
Right.
V1/R7 sensor, but with actual controls to use it for photography. Can't see Nikon doing it because, the experience with the DL. Fujifilm, they're not, they're pretty tied up with the X100. They don't need to do it. I'm not sure who else to look for. Maybe Panasonic. OM say they absolutely won't. So, unfortunately, my hopes are on Canon.
So you're saying you want a G7X replacement?
A G7X4 and RX100 replacement, or a G1X replacement. Ideally, a G1X replacement, given X100's been successful. Sorry.
You mean like a novel camera, because we run out of micro USB ports that need to be updated USB-C by this point. We've seen so many rehashes. The G7X is still selling crazy well. So yeah, you mean like a new novel point and shoot camera with actual changes beyond just like minor updates.
Yeah, I think it doesn't need to be a new sensor necessarily, but new processor, the latest subject recognition AF. In fact, maybe don't keep putting the cost of stacked sensors into cameras and then wonder why no one wants to spend $1,800 on them. I'm not a marketing expert, but that one seems like it seems like an odd call right now. But yeah, an update that goes beyond, let's use a rear LCD that we can actually source and USB-C for compatibility in Europe.
Yeah.
All right. Jordan?
Yeah, I'm going to roll with that a little bit. And I think that we're going to see the first original camera product from OM. And it's not going to be a mirrorless camera. It's going to be a TUF series, completely redesigned, whether they move to a Type 1 sensor or just dramatically improve, move to a faster, like a smartphone sensor. They've got a lot of cool technology that would work great in a waterproof camera. I'm thinking some things like their live ND functionality and stuff like that. Put a fast sensor in a compact camera and make it be very capable, able to do like high-res shooting to improve the DR and the detail, all kinds of stuff. Everything they have access to, dump it all in a TUF camera. I think there's a huge hole in that market right now, and it would sell crazy well, even if they had to bump the price substantially.
So effectively what you're saying is OM system capitalizing on their computational photographic technology that other people still haven't jumped on, but going to a faster, smaller sensor to really harness that?
Exactly, yeah.
And make it good for shower. Mommy and daddy in the shower.
Well, I mean, the TUFs are always historically good for that, as you've been
Yes.
talking about for a decade now, Chris.
And we still don't have a new one. So, there's a demand.
I feel I've missed an episode here, and I'm beginning to think I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are advantages to dipping in and out, for sure.
Now, look, in case anybody's curious, you can bring OM1s into the shower too, no problem. I'm just saying, okay? Don't worry about it. No problem. I just wish the video quality was sharper.
At any rate, I'm going to go now, and I think, and I wrote an article about this earlier this year, and I think I'm going to double down on it. I have changed my opinion. I do believe that Nikon has a place for a Z7, a new Z7, and I think they will give it to us after looking at their lines specifically with how they price things. So we are going to get a photography-focused high-resolution camera that can sit in Nikon's line between their $2199 Z6 III and their $3599 Z8. There is a nice, comfy little gap in there where a photography-focused camera can stand out and not cannibalize either of those two lines. A problem Nikon regularly has with its cameras. They release something and it's like a little bit better or the same for less than the other camera that's in their line. They have to stop doing that. And the Z7 will be perfect here. And I think that people will like it. But the monkey's paw will curl and it will have a vari-angle screen. So the photographers will still have something to complain about.
Perfect. Right. I actually think this is a really, interesting idea because Nikon's really the only company that hasn't jumped on a 60 megapixel sensor. But at the same time, if the other prediction that we had is correct, that maybe there'll be faster sensors coming out, new high-end, high-resolution sensors, is Nikon going to get access to that? I guess what I'm getting at is, let's say they made an A7R5 competitor. Would it be too late at this point? Would it be too little too late? What do you guys think?
I don't know. I like the idea because, the stacked sensor in the Z8 means there's only so cheap they can sell it.
Yeah,
but as you say, the Z6 III has dropped so much in price; it's opened up that gap again. I'm not sure anyone, having just bought Red, the idea that they'd say, "Oh, this is going to be photo focused," I think is optimistic.
Yeah.
I think it'll have a faster sensor. I think it would try and lean into the video side as well. I think that's just unavoidable unless you go into super niche products, like a enthusiast, high-end enthusiast compacts. But I do like the idea. I do like the logic.
I could see them doing a partially stacked version of the 45. That would make a lot of sense, especially if they zhuzh the DR a little bit in mechanical shutter mode. That could be a very compelling camera. But
don't we want 60?
But it's damn close to
I do want
Z8.
60. I do want 60. So I feel like I would prefer a non-stacked or a partially stacked 60. And that would allow a new Z8 and a new Z9 to still stand out, go fully stacked. Their resolution can be a little bit lower, which is fine, and then they can point to these things as having very distinct different use cases. But a Z7 with a partially stacked would still make decent video, and even if it wasn't stacked, if you're out there shooting landscapes or whatever, and you just don't move the camera, the footage will still look beautiful. And I do, to answer the question about does it have a place with the A7R5, and I presume an A7R6. That's not even on our list, I don't think, because it's not even bold. That will eventually come. I do think that there are people who prefer working with Nikon's RAW files over Sony's RAW files
And
and
there's-
access to the Z mount.
And there's so many D810, D850 people out there who are
Correct.
just like, I wasn't going
Nikon
to jump on a
wants
Z7.
them.
Yeah, I wasn't going to jump on a Z7 till the autofocus got its act sorted out. And now this would be a great time to be like, there's no image quality penalties, and the bodies are really way more compelling than they were even 3 years ago.
I think they would do the old sensor, not worry too much about making it a fast camera, update the processor, get the new autofocus in there, and try to keep the cost low. And again, I think that goes in line with their build market share. And so I could see it. Obviously it's going to have video, but I mean, I think they're going to basically, if they stick with the old sensor, it's not going to be ideal for video. So I see what you're saying about a photocentric camera. I think that's a distinct possibility.
I think Jordan's point that if you can build a partially stacked version of the 45 megapixel sensor and get both video and, as you say, juged DR, then I think that makes it quite a distinctive product. So I like that as an idea.
All right. Fingers crossed. I actually want that to happen. That's a Nikon camera I might actually purchase.
Yeah. Well, but we're split on which way it would go. So yeah. We'll have to see.
Chris, you're up.
It's time for bold predictions. I think China's going to make a Leica-style digital rangefinder. I don't know who that's going to. Yeah, the entire country. Yeah, I mean, you could argue that's how it is, anyways. But no, I think one of the manufacturers. I don't know who, but one of the manufacturers. Somebody's going to make it. I mean, the only people that have been really doing a lot. I shouldn't say that, but the large majority of manufacturers that have been kind of taking risks to kind of bring back some interesting products, maybe some retro-inspired products, have been the Chinese manufacturers, like Mint, for example. Stuff. So I think a Leica-style digital rangefinder. I'm surprised nobody's done it yet, and I'm talking classic rangefinder optics, M-mount. They're already making so much M-mount glass, so that's my bold prediction.
The monkey's paw curls again. It's Yashica.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it might be under the Yashica. Basically a spiritual successor to the Epson RD1. I'm surprised that nobody has jumped on board to do that. And I think if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be one of the Chinese manufacturers.
You think they're going to go up against the Gallic might of Pixie?
Have you used one of those, Richard?
No, we
can't get one.
We'd love to if they'd send us one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's asked. I know that.
They don't seem to want to. What are they hiding?
No.
I mean, having just been slightly rude about the French, I'm sorry, I am still British at heart. I can see why they might choose not to. But no, I would genuinely love to try one.
Honestly, then, and that's why I say it's not everybody. I mean, the French is a great example. There's actually a few companies there and a few innovators that are trying to make interesting camera products as well. But I mean, China certainly has the manufacturing might to do it and the way to keep the costs reasonable. So that's my bold prediction for 2026.
All right, Richard.
Okay, this is very much more wishful thinking than reality.
Great.
I would love to see a small Micro Four Thirds camera. Whether it's a new pen from OM, whether it's Panasonic pivoting back to the GF1, GX1. I'm trying to not steal Chris's thunder here, but a small, you could make something that has some of the charm of the X100, but smaller and with interchangeable lenses. And Micro Four Thirds lets you do that. OM seems to get that. One of the appeals of its system is small, travel friendly. They've just brought out the weather sealed version of the 17mm lens. No new optics, unfortunately, but still, mount that on a small body, make it look pretty. It doesn't necessarily have to look exactly like the Pen F. I love the way that people think the Pen F is completely separate from like the EP5, 6 set. Yeah. But still, whatever it looks like, lean into the quality and don't try and sell it on price and make it mass market product. Look at the success of the X100. Build something that's beautiful and that you want to keep for years. You've got all those lenses to mount on it. I'm not saying I think this is going to happen, but I would love it to happen.
There's no chance that these companies didn't see Chris's video that has 750,000 views now on why he likes the GM5. And I'm
not the only one.
And you're not the only one. You just said the words loudest.
Tom Kelton is on there saying it. Yeah. Emily's on there saying it. A lot of people are saying it.
Obvious that people are like, it's weird that Micro Four Thirds stopped doing the thing Micro Four Thirds was really good at.
I've also got on my list, I'd love to see a refreshed GM5, but I just thought that feels like I'm elbowing into Chris's territory.
I don't care who comes up with it as long as it happens.
Yeah, Pen or a Panasonic with a GM, somebody should bring it back.
I don't know that Panasonic is going to do it. And I know Jordan wants to talk about this as well. I don't know that Panasonic's going to do it, but OM System is in a perfect position to do it because, as you say, Richard, they have that heritage and they have the designs and stuff. You know, they've got lots of design and aesthetics they could draw off of. The only thing I'm wondering, though, do you think they're going to be gun-shy because of the OM3? Because the OM3 is a beautiful camera. Objectively, it's a gorgeous camera, well-designed. Sure, but it was trying to be sort of like that advanced vintage-inspired camera. You know, that's like the XT5 of their lineup. And I don't think it did very well, unfortunately. Everybody who's used it's like, I love it. It's gorgeous.
It's because,
you know,
it's didn't do anything different than the existing cameras in OM's line other than look cool.
Sure.
It has exactly the same feature set, in fact, worse in some areas than other cameras in their line, even though it costs more. That's not how you make a camera and be successful. If you want to do what I think Richard said, which is make something even smaller, that is a major value add than just looking cool. Richard, you looked like you disagree with what I said.
Well, I think the list price was lower than the OM1, wasn't it? But
yes,
the OM1
slightly.
were selling it at a discount by the time it arrived, so it always looked expensive. I think we've got the same problem as we were talking about with the Z8. There's only so cheap you can sell something with stacked sensors.
With the same parts. It's got the same.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they've got the choice of, do we use the old sensor or do we use the stacked one? And that puts a huge price gap in the middle of their lineup. So I don't know how you resolved that. Because I was looking into it and I don't think there's a BSI a conventional BSI sensor that you can just bolt the partially stacked business on and try and get this.
Do you even need to stack it for this to be good?
No,
just make the shutter
not for a small
decent.
camera.
No,
not
you just
for
make a
small
good mechanical shutter.
Focus on photos. Yep. Yeah. I mean, I'd be up for that, but. As I said,
hope you're right.
I'm trying to sort of tread around GM5 territory for out of respect for Chris, but even GF1, GX1, you know, which was that little,
sure.
You know,
they should both do it. They should both do it. They're both crazy not to do it.
And also, young people don't. They're not saying every camera you release has to take video. They don't. In fact, they actually argue the opposite. Yeah. They are looking for cameras that don't make video. So
I hope they surprise us. Yeah, you're right.
There's so much evidence to support this. So I really hope you're right too, Richard.
The GF1 series, they just kept going, maybe we should make this into more of a point and shoot. No, actually, people like the GF1. Let's make the GX1, which is basically another, GF1,
which is what the GF2 should have been. Yeah.
And then they, that evolved into a massive, great thing that was almost as big as the G, as the main G series. Like, no, that one.
They're always they're always quite coy about it, though, and I hope they're just being coy about it. It's like, but when you talk to the OM system management, and you say, I think you guys should do this. They're like, And then when you talk to Panasonic management, they're like, nah. So, I hope they're just being coy about it, and they're like just keeping their cards close to their chest. We'll see. They should both do it. Yeah.
Mine is a little different. It's actually directly related to what you were talking about, Richard. But Panasonic is reusing bodies a lot lately. I mean, if you look at their entire S1 series right now, they're all the same body with different guts in them. So they've got a history of this. And if you look at the G9 II, it's a Panasonic S5 II body with a micro four thirds sensor in it. They have something in their lineup that would make a ton of sense, and that is just take the S9 body, which is not my favorite, but is definitely an attractive body, and just slap a micro four thirds sensor in there. I think they've got a bunch of compatible lenses ready to go. And my biggest issue with the S9, with the BF, is in artificial light, it's a crapshoot because they're electronic shutter only, and those sensors are quite slow, where there's a bunch of very fast read. Like they could just do the 25 megapixel sensor they've already got, which is substantially faster reading out. And they've just suddenly injected a little bit of life into micro four thirds without a lot of R&D, because I really get the impression that they're like, we are not sinking more resources into micro four thirds, but they could give a little bit of validity to the line without spending any money. I think it would be a wise choice. I just wish they'd launched the S9 simultaneously with the micro four thirds option as well.
Needs another dial though.
Yeah, I would love another dial, and I'd love an optional EVF, but you know,
I don't.
They
this
stopped
is
making those.
practical,
They won't-
Jordan.
They won't. Yeah, they're not going to give you an optional EVF.
I know.
That ship has long since.
I
sailed.
don't. I don't disagree. Like, I see what you're saying, Jordan. You're saying like one of their barriers to not doing this cute compact Micro Four Thirds is that they don't want to have to design a brand new body, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And the S9 is a small platform. Like even Micro Four Thirds, it wouldn't be big. I still like. I don't mind the fact that it's full frame. I think there's cool merit there. I think I would like to see an S9 II, which stays full frame but adds an EVF and a mechanical shutter. I'd be happy. I think an S9 II, just a bit more advanced, would actually do really well. But yeah, I don't know.
I think we'll see that body again. We'll see which direction it goes.
Yeah,
Well, hopefully it'll have another dial, but the lenses are so big with a full frame sensor.
That's
so I
my
was just
big
going to say what they need to do is they also need to revamp some compact lenses for full frame to make that work better. Yeah.
Or use a format that's inherently small.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
All right, I've got my third of my predictions here, and I'm going to go back to Fujifilm because I'm very Fujifilm centric these days.
That's where the clicks are.
This, of the shutter, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yes.
I think that Fujifilm had a good experience with the X-Half, despite the fact that not everyone liked it, including Chris Nichols and Jordan Drake. And I don't think you liked it either, did you, Richard?
I love the idea. I did not love the implementation.
Yeah, the execution was a little but
That's everybody. Yeah.
I think that they will still try and do something weird, just because as a company they encourage their people to do stuff like this.
Sure.
So I think they're going to do something weird, and I think it will be vastly more successful. And I think that they are going to remake the TX series, and I think I'm going to get a digital TX. It'll have two of their APS-C sensors mushed next to each other side by side, and a bespoke series of lenses, just like the way that it was. Ideally, it will work with the same ones they made way back when. Probably won't. Probably won't. What actually might be more realistic is that it's a fixed lens camera. That would make a ton more sense for them. I would prefer having the mixture between 45 and 90. I like those two options, but I would settle for 45 as a fixed. I just think this camera would sell like absolute crazy if they made this now, because
hot.
Panoramic is and the ability to swap back and forth is also super neat. Most people don't even know the TX1 can do that, or the TX2. So I want that. I think that they should make it, and there's some evidence that they're at least thinking about it. So I think that's next year.
All right. It's time. This is my last prediction, I think, but it's time for tinfoil hat wacko prediction time. Okay. So I know we already have AI in our cameras, and I know that AI is a word that gets thrown around a lot, and you can call it whatever you want, machine learning, deep learning, whatever, but
annoying.
I think annoying, whatever you want it, but I think it's going to get more annoying, Jordan. And I think we're going to, I know. I think we're going to start to see cameras that use AI for focusing. They already do it for exposure, but for focusing and exposure, the whole thing to make the photographs easier to obtain, beyond just subject detection. Like subject detection works well, but you still have to automatically choose between the subject detections or let the camera decide. It doesn't always do a great job. But you're still generally choosing something for the scenario. What I'm talking about is manufacturers, I think quietly under the radar more so than they'll market it as like, this is a cool new name, this is our new whatever, but they don't want to really call it like taking control away from you. But I'm talking about the AI basically analyzing your scene as you're pointing the camera at it and making some serious decisions for you based on autofocus. Getting away from choosing a zone or a central point or tracking autofocus and really just making a lot of decisions for you. And I think we're going to see more of that this year for sure. That's my wild, crazy prediction. And that goes into everything. So it's about simplifying the process, taking away complications from the user, and if they can deliver in very predictable and effective ways, I think it'll do very well.
So basically a supercharged program mode.
Yeah, I still think people want to have exposure control to some degree, and I'm not talking about basically like a green mode, where it's like a dumbed down. I'm thinking more they would market it as advanced technology, making our because frankly, the autofocusing game now has kind of become very level. You don't have a lot of people really like having the dominance that they used to have Sony, right? So everybody's caught up now. We have reliable autofocus. So I think what can they do now to differentiate that? And that is now to make promises to have it simpler and be even more effective than before. Because we're still in an age where you have to make some decisions for the camera. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I love doing that, but I could see the manufacturers starting to do these advanced AI modes that just do it for you properly.
I had something very similar to that, but not in terms of it handling focus or exposure. But we've already got pre-capture on these cameras now, where it's just constantly recording photos to the buffer and then throwing them away. I could see it just saying like, hey, this is a good composition. We think this is a good photo, and just saving it. And engage a mode, it's just constantly shooting photos. And if it thinks one's good, it throws it on the card. And are you even a photographer? It's basically a trap camera at that point. But I could see the technology is already there for it to just say like, oh, strong composition, good moment, kids smiling, eyes open. They didn't push the shutter, but I'm saving that anyways, and I think they're going to want it later. I could totally see someone doing that.
Be like, what do you think about this one?
A huge outcry from the photographic community.
You were still holding the camera and pointing it, so it's yours. I think we're going to see a lot more of that, and I think it'll be in varying degrees of how obvious is it or how secretive are they, for lack of a better term, in how they implement it. I think it'll get a trademark cool name, powered by blah 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 or something like that. But I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot more control taken away. Not in a nefarious way. I think it could be very effective, but in an automatic way, for sure. For sure.
So I'm skeptical on that, because I think at this point, it used to be, you bought a dedicated camera instead of using your phone because it gave you better image quality. Well, that's not always necessarily the case. And for a lot of people, their phone will do, perfectly well and will do a great job of analyzing the scene, anticipating what it is you're trying to do, auto-focusing, auto-exposure. It'll do all that for you. What is the point in a dedicated camera if it's doing too much for you? You're saying, you actually have to do something. Well, that is what cameras are for at this point. They're for the experience and the engagement in the act of photography. So if you give too much away, then, have you not just got,
a very expensive smartphone.
A very expensive smartphone with crap connectivity, and you paid for a huge sensor that you don't necessarily need.
I agree with you, Richard, but I don't think that will stop them from trying.
Yeah, and I mean,
think they will try it, realize that people don't like it, leave it in there, but then stop developing on it.
But look, people don't love the cheesy parts of smartphone photography, but they absolutely love the background convenience and automatic, good exposure and stuff like that. If you're getting good results, you're going to love it. I mean, the example I would give is Canon, of course, have done this sport-specific subject detection autofocus, and it actually works very effectively, right? Like, volleyball, you choose volleyball, it does a good job. Football or soccer, however you want to say it, it does a good job, right? Basketball, same thing. So what I guess I'm suggesting is that your camera would just say, well, why have the annoyance of you having to pick what sport you're shooting and make sure you're in the right mode? We're just going to do that for you. It's just going to be like, oh, basketball, we just automatically do that for you. We detect it's basketball. We choose the right AI-based subject detection modes for it. And we're already seeing this with auto subject detection, right? Which a lot of people love. They love it. They're like, yeah, it's great. Saves me a step in having to decide if I'm shooting a bird or a pet or my child or a person. And then just taking that even further. Right? So get away from even having to choose zones or points of focus and just accurately doing it in the most effective way. I don't think it's that difficult to implement. And so, and I think what you're saying, Richard, I agree in that the challenge for them will be, how do we implement this while still making the user feel like they're in control or involved?
Doing anything.
Yeah, because back to what you said, you said, oh, you were holding the camera. If you reduce it to that, then you've killed the whole thing. I think
that was Jordan's
idea. The idea of sort of post capture an improved version where it filters, especially with cameras shooting at 30 FPS, 120 FPS, the slog of going through to go, oh no, that one's slightly better than that one. If your camera could do a quick cull, or at least give things a star rating, you still have your other photos, but just to speed up I shot at 30 FPS. I've filled my card with essentially the same photo. I think something to solve that problem, but I think it's going to be supporting existing workflows rather than trying to circumvent them, or at least I hope.
Richard, do you have one more for us?
I've actually got two fragments of ideas. Panasonic S1H replacement, but as an FX3 ZR competitor.
Yeah.
Because we've in the S1 II we've got a sensor that would make a perfectly good S1H replacement, and it seems weird for a long time that was my absolute favorite video camera, and it seems weird to just sort of cede that market to the likes of the FX3 and the ZR. So I'd love to see something like that. But my slightly off the wall prediction is that someone else will follow suit in what Sigma and Hasselblad did last year, and we will start to see HDR JPEGs from one of the major manufacturers, because they all do 10-bit HDR images, and they barely tell us about them. No one is saying, hey, look, our camera takes these amazing HDR images. Well, everybody else is getting HDR images from their phones, whether they realize it or not. Their phones all look, dazzling or more lifelike on, when they're uploaded to Instagram. And those of us who've bought really nice cameras that capture all this DR are still outputting, traditional JPEGs with about, 8 to 10 stops of DR, and they look flat by comparison. I think, even if people don't realize that that's the thing that's going to make their photos look more interesting, I think, somebody should do it. Somebody should just go, look, it's backwards compatible. It's easy, you can share it and upload it and it works. And if someone looks at it on their phone, it looks pretty.
On their phone,
who do you think it'll be?
Key. Answer Jordan's first, and then I'll go. Who do you think it'll be?
Canon?
Question mark?
Oh, massive question mark. That's the difficulty. It's who's going to dare to take the unusual step. I mean, Canon loves to do the just like, look, we will give you lovely output from your camera, and you don't have to think it just works. I don't know.
Are you sure that's not Apple? It just works.
Well, that's what I was alluding to. I think Canon has that sort of hey, we want to just make a great consumer product that works reliably, and you don't isn't going to you don't have to spend years trying to learn how to get the best out of it.
Okay, how do we display it though?
So that was what I was going to say too. It's like the issue.
Canon have a huge stake in printing, right? And we don't have printers that can do it. Is really the problem.
And on top of that,
printers can't do it. Yep.
People refuse to buy monitors. People that are like Chris who own PCs to buy monitors that can properly display HDR. And it's not really necessarily even Chris's fault. It's that even companies that make very expensive displays. So I'm right now using an Asus OLED. This is capable of HDR. It looks like crap. I've tried it. This is a very expensive OLED. It just doesn't get bright enough. And most of these monitor brands aren't putting the money to put the powerful backlights in these. And when they do, those displays are $4,000. So that's why we're not getting widespread HDR adoption in the video space, is because the monitor brands say HDR on the box, and that's a lie, even though they're technically HDR compliant because they're HDR 400. They need to be HDR 800 or 1000 for a photo to actually look any different and not look like garbage, and not make Jordan's iPhone videos shot in HDR look like poo. So that's the major blocker for me. I do think that someone will do it. Canon seems like a risk, as Chris points out, since they are deftly invested in printing.
Yeah, that's fair.
But people are going to still be trying this HDR thing until somebody finally gets through and people are actually using them more. You do make a great point. Phones are the screen people look at these days more than anything else.
And
but
also
standalone
TV.
cameras are still like plug an SD card into a computer.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right on monitors, though the fact that anyone using a Mac, if they've bought a recent MacBook Pro in the last few years, will have a pretty capable HDR display.
Beautiful.
Once you've seen it, then you want to help break those barriers down.
But Chris is never buying a MacBook. We can't convince him to.
I use an iPad. It's got a nice screen.
It does. It has a fantastic screen.
Well, and the key thing that Richard mentioned here is the HDR implementation of JPEG, which solves the big problem with doing like a, HEVC or something like that, which looks terrible on SDR displays. What if it just displays in two different ways? Looks good on SDR and looks good on HDR. They solved that problem with the Sigma and the Hasselblads. So it's just up to someone else to step up now. My money's on Fujifilm. That's who I think will do it.
Oh, I think
my
Sony
only
would
thought
do it.
was they might be a bit too committed to the film simulations and having to rework all of those.
They'd have to redo them all.
Different gamma would be.
There's a downside to every company that could possibly think to do this, except Nikon. Nikon doesn't really have
Sony. What's Sony?
Sony makes TVs. That's a big tie-in.
Yeah, Sony would do it.
All right, Jordan, your last prediction?
Yeah, mine's a quick one. I think Pentax is going to release a digital product this year.
You're crazy.
That is absolutely insane. That will never happen.
It's going to be something. I don't if it's.
I really hope
maybe
so.
it is just slapping a USB port on one of their older cameras, but I think they're going to release a product that is not a film camera. And I don't think they're going to release a film camera either, since they let go of what's his name. But yeah.
I will tell you, Jordan, they did say to us that they forced their Ricoh and Pentax teams to work in the same building and together again. So
They did.
But that
They're
just
committed.
happened. So I don't know.
were
Next year
told-
seems a little early.
We were told in
K12
Australia.
monochrome.
Yeah.
Okay, can I
Does that
suggest-
count?
Can I make the silliest suggestion then? The Pentax team and the Ricoh team work together, and we get a GR-derived enthusiast zoom compact from Pentax next year. Make it. Lean into some of what they did with the MX-1, with the top plate that was supposed to brass over time. Just make it. I don't think it's going to happen. I think there's absolutely zero chance of that happening. You can start off with that next year and just make your big sound, but that's the one I want.
I feel like, I first off, I feel like we've been making this prediction every year for the last 3 years.
No, that was Foveon.
No, but we have in some way or another been saying Pentax needs to make a digital camera. Pentax, like we've been saying, and a novel one. So I think the only way it would really have a lot of merit is if it was a novel camera for once. Like it's got to be something new. It can't just be a black and white version of an existing camera or a slight change to an existing SLR. I don't know. But they
prediction
did.
stands.
In Australia, they did say we are combining the teams, which was exciting news. And they also said we're deeply committed to Pentax. Nobody's abandoning that or anything like that. And they also said, like, we are committed to the DSLR. So, yeah, those three things are what they've told us. So,
yeah. But they also,
Take without
we're
you.
still waiting for them to approve their statements to me. Actually, that's funny, Chris, that you mentioned this, because I have 3 stories written that they're supposed to approve their quotes on.
Right.
The other one was that the DSLR they're never going to deviate, but at the same time, they're not sure how to make it interesting. They're like stuck. So, doesn't sound like next year to me. All right, my last bold prediction.
bring us home, Jaron. Bring us home.
Is that
This is the
I
last
expect we're going to see mainly affordable lenses next year,
Yeah.
and way fewer of them across the board. Period. So like Sigma had 2 straight years of insane releases. They will cull way back. Tamron will be lucky to get 1 or 2 new lenses. I think Canon will focus on filling out some of its more affordable stuff. Same with Nikon. We won't get like a named lens next year. No, we're all like the way that the market is going, it's affordable and easily obtainable. And I think that is what the focus will be. I also do not think we will get a Foveon camera for at least 3 more years, if ever. I think that the fact that they still haven't finished the sensor, they haven't moved on from that point, means the camera design isn't even started yet. So like it's at least 3 years out. So that's not even a real bold prediction. I just want people to know that I'm thinking about it. It's so much worse than I ever thought possible. Like they are not close.
No.
And I'm done hoping. If I shut down my dreams.
Every year that goes by, they get further away from it, right? I mean, it becomes this diminishing returns, like how much more research and development we put into something that's getting older and older and older.
Yeah. And they've made no progress this year, too, which is wild.
So, yeah.
But do you think they were just like, this year, guys, we can either develop the Foveon camera or we can release 17 new optical formulas, and they picked the latter.
Yeah, smart
Richard,
move.
you were making a consternated face at me.
I've got a horrid feeling you might be right.
That's
I think,
every day for me.
I think the BF showed such interesting ideas. They've got people fizzing with ideas for how you could make a camera. Something like that with a bigger battery and a Foveon sensor, I think would make so many people happy. I would love to see it. It would primarily be sort of, I think a landscape camera. But I think it would find its audience, and I think it would be loved. I think I was trying to make any predictions about lenses at all. Everyone's lineup looks so well fleshed out at this point. It's really hard to guess. Tilt shift from somebody, tilt shift from Canon. They always used to have.
They had great
They used to be the brand that had tilt shift lenses.
Yeah, architecture photographers were using Canon specifically because their TS lenses were so good.
Yeah, so at the moment, if you want a really good modern tilt shift lens, you've got to go GFX and they're 30 mil. It seems weird for Canon to just abandon that market. So, maybe this year.
When was the last time they actually released that as a new lens?
17
the 17,
mil, about 10 years ago. I forget when. I reported on it, but that could put at any point in the last 18 years, and I just can't remember anymore.
Yeah, I just looked it up. Laowa did give us one this year, the 35-2.8 half macro tilt shift. That's the first true tilt shift, not just shift, that we've seen for modern mirrorless. And you just said, they haven't made a modern manufacturer hasn't made one forever.
Well, since the GFX, yeah.
30 mil GFX, 3 years ago.
Sorry, full frame. I was meaning full frame, not medium format. But yeah.
Just to quickly carry off on our Sigma conversation, is this the year that we will see the serious camera from Sigma? Do you think they can pull that off? Just to give context, they've sort of talked about, Yamaki-san has said, I'm committed to the brand and the lenses, and I want to make a camera that's a bit more serious and made for advanced photography and whatnot. Is this the year that we see that camera?
No.
No? Don't think so?
Jordan is shaking his head and making
Jordan
an
shakes his head.
upside down
Jaren says
U
no.
with his mouth. Richard?
No, Richard?
After this last year, the last thing I'm going to try and do is second guess what Sigma's going to do next. Just not a clue.
We've looked in that factory multiple times now. I don't even know where they would be building this thing. They're out of space in there.
But I mean, I would a refresh of the 18 to 35 1.8. I did not have that on my bingo card for last year. I'm delighted. 17 to 40. A great lens for APS-C if your manufacturer allows it. But that's I would not in a million years have predicted that we were going to see that. So no, I'm not going to go anywhere near Sigma in terms of guessing what they might do next. But I suspect I'm going to like it.
Unpredictable. All right. Well, that's fantastic.
All right. Well, folks, if you've got some bold predictions you want to share, put them in the comments below. We read them all. We'll like the ones that that stand out to us. You should see our little heart on there every time because we read them all. So Jordan and I are the ones in there hearting. And sometimes Chris is on there on his own profile
all
responding.
The time.
Yeah. Well, you do the upvote because I don't know that you're not actually logged into the PetaPixel YouTube. Yeah, you're in there with yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway, let us know what you think.
The true
Richard?
and honest me.
Thank you very much.
I'm just looking forward to appearing in a video where half the comments aren't, I prefer Chris and Jordan.
Well, they might still say that. Who knows? I don't know. I hope not. But, we'll see.
It was
we appreciate you coming back.
It's good to see you guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Talk soon.
Yeah.
Thanks again to Richard for joining us for that. We always enjoy seeing him. It's nice to hear his wonderful accent. I just love the British accent. His sounds great. So. What? Is that weird? I'm sorry.
No, it's a great accent.
So we're going to do
his
now.
Gloucester accent's fantastic.
What have you been up to? And I want to start with A couple of weeks ago, I put out a call for graphic designers, anyone who's interested in working with us, and I have not found or made a decision yet about the people that reached out. But I did get one very interesting design that I wanted to share with everyone because it is truly special.
I hope you're watching and not listening. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to make Jordan describe it, actually. So the shirt that we're looking at here is the Jordan autofocus running test shirt.
Fast AF.
It says Fast AF on it. And Jordan, please elaborate.
There's just this really handsome guy with a variety of facial expressions showing different levels of strenuousness as well as something else. I don't know.
It's an orgasm, straight up. I don't know why there's so many pictures of you having an orgasm on this T-shirt, and I don't know if you're going to wear that in public. Yes.
So, I think I might just have to do a run for myself just to wear on the odd video or, like at a trade show. I think this would be, go to CP Plus, wear this thing. That'd be a banger of a shirt. But I do keep going back to the line from Twisters that you can't trust the kind of person who'd wear their own face on a shirt. And I take that very seriously. So not going to be my running errands shirt, but let me know, is this something you would be interested
You're not going to wear it to the grocery store?
On your body.
This has strong Three Wolf Moon energy. Except
huge.
It's for running Jordans.
Wow.
And it is so special.
Well, if you're wondering what Jordan's like as a lover, now you know what he looks like, and he's fast. So here we go.
The middle picture is just so good. I can't. It's just exceptionally excellent.
They went through all of them and found the creme de la creme. I remember we were talking about getting a flip book published where people could flip through Jordan running tests. It would be a colossal waste of paper and energy, but it was a funny idea.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing the effort. It was a lot of effort, no doubt.
I haven't decided if we're actually going to run this because, I don't know how many people would actually wear it, but I still appreciate it. And so I want to say thank you to Jacques, who made this for us. It's special. It is special.
I should just put it in like a black frame box behind me here, like a sports jersey or something. That should be the ticket.
What else have you guys been up to? Shaking his head vigorously, Chris.
Yeah, Chris apparently
Jordan's
has
been
nothing.
in pain.
Yeah, I've been in pain. The holiday train came through town with Canadian legends, the Bare Naked Ladies, the band playing some Christmas hits, and my daughter sat on my shoulders and bounced throughout the entire concert and absolutely destroyed me. So, I do not recommend that. It was really cute. I'm sure there were some great photos taken, but I don't know. Not positive it was worth it. And it's good movie season, so nice. I'm rolling through them. I just watched If I Had Legs, I Would Kick You, which is a fascinating film about how being a mom will make you go absolutely insane. Not a fun watch, but one I would definitely recommend. And I'm going to have more because I am going to keep up with good movies throughout the rest of this season. It's going to happen, boys.
Speaking of good movies, Jordan, have you seen the Knives Out series?
I am a big fan of the Knives Out, and don't you ruin it because I am 1 hour and 32 minutes into the new one.
You didn't watch it in one sitting? I understand that you have to pause it to pee, but it's a 2.5 hour movie that you should sit and watch the entirety of.
He's a sessionist, not a secessionist, but a sessionist. Yes.
Yeah. No, the rule is generally we do work until like 10:30 and we get ourselves an hour and a half of show or movie time per night. So that is what I'm doing with Knives Out. But yeah, I think Glass Onion was a totally underrated movie. I don't think a lot of people got what that thing was trying to do. And obviously I love the first one because I have good taste and I'm really enjoying the third one.
The third one I think is not as good as the first one because the first one was excellent. But the third one is really very good. Chris, have you seen it?
I've seen the first two, and I love the first one. The second one, I was like, meh. And so, we'll watch the third one, but I'm not.
It's very good.
It's very good.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I liked it quite a bit. I love Rian Johnson's cinematography, like the choices he makes with what he shows on camera. You've already seen it, Jordan, so it's not a spoiler. There's one specific shot of from the forest all the way into a garage in one perfect zoom. I don't know what lens they used, but gosh, that was like it could have been this one. Like it was clearly
it's sharp all the way through that whole.
42, like it could have been a 30
certainly
to 300.
wasn't.
Could have been a 42.
Has he used the Seven Artisans Floral Bloom at all?
He has not in his filmmaking work so far. I gotta say, like, we always complain about, like, oh, Netflix has these harsh rules where they want to make everything look really flat so it still looks good on like a phone and stuff like that. They won't let cinematographers. Do they just have an exemption with Rian Johnson where he can just make beautiful stuff? It doesn't look like a Netflix movie.
No,
it looks like a movie. Yeah, it's
I have
awesome.
it on the OLED. It looked spectacular. Spectacular. You got to watch it, Chris. It's really good.
I will watch it. I've been actually trying to catch up with my other TV show series. So, like, we're watching Pluribus, which is coming out weekly, so we're enjoying
very
that. I caught up with From. I actually got into From, and I've been kind of going through that. I'm enjoying that. Peacemaker's all caught up now. I've been enjoying that too. So, yeah, I'm trying to get all my serials lined up for next season. And I'm kind of contemplating watching Fallout again, but I don't have time. But I enjoyed it a lot, and I kind of want to watch it again now that the second season will be coming out.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah,
I've tasked my wife with watching all of season 1, which she hasn't watched yet. I've seen it. I want her to watch it so we can watch season 2 together. Because it is that good.
Straight up, I'm going to say it's the only hot take, the only good video game adaptation TV series ever in recent years.
I can't think of one that's better. I can't think of
Last of Us has disappointed me. Like,
hold on. No, that is pretty good. But you're right. It's not as good as
but it's not great. It's good, but it's not great. Like this is Fallout's like great.
Season 2, you're right.
Yeah.
Last of Us didn't do it for me. Season 1 was excellent. But
I still didn't love season 1. Okay. It was fine.
I don't have a horse in this race, so I'm in a good place here.
But,
are you sure the Halo series on Paramount wasn't
Has anyone ever seen that? Like it's that and the Lord of the Rings, like Power of the Ring, or the two shows that
Rings of
no
Power
human has ever watched.
No, Rings of Power is good. No,
I will back Chris
you take
up on
that
this.
back.
I haven't seen
Rings
it,
of Power is
but
good.
a friend of mine who is pretty critical of stuff and very into the fantasy says actually Rings of Power is good.
No, because no one has seen it.
No.
No living human's eyes.
You just
have rested upon this series.
You hate Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. It's well established. You are wrong.
That's not true at all.
Yeah,
Wait,
it is
really
true.
hate it?
It is
Jordan.
true. He hates it. He does not care for it. He does not. No, don't you dare try to now defend yourself here saying that you do like. You don't.
I watch it the whole trilogy, the extended edition. I watch
Every
it
year.
on my birthday every year.
No. He called Return of the King hot trash. Fellowship of the Ring, he said, was a great study in line of action. I mean,
I have never. I mean, my level of respect
I like
for
the
you is
first
very
two.
high.
I think they're not the totemic movies that a lot of us consider them.
When Theoden yells "Ride for ruin" and the world's ending, nothing. You feel nothing in your heart.
Just dry
it's a good thing we're not in
eyes.
the same room, and we've had this argument so many times. So that's why I'm so vehement about it.
We've had to pull the car over before.
As a recap, I wanted to mention to you guys, I read the comments on last week's podcast episode, and the favorite episodes were regularly anytime Gordon Lang was on.
Yeah.
Having Peter June from TCS on, always great. We got to find things for him to talk about because
I think he got in trouble last time, so we'll see if he's back.
Maybe that's why the episode was so good. And then also, regular one that's on there a lot is any episode that Kazuto Yamaki-san is in is also.
Sure, of course.
And you know what? These are obvious takes. These are great episodes.
Those are our favorites too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love them.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to end the episode with the feel-good story of the week. I'm sorry we couldn't get to tech support yet again. We are terrible at
terrible at
modulating our time. But the feel-good story of the week is, did you guys know that Starbucks is a camera brand now?
What? Tell me more, Jaron.
Sort of.
Okay, so this looks like AI. It's not AI. In China, Starbucks has sold cameras before, like through collabs. But this is the first time they've done it as this is a Starbucks branded camera. The front of the lens says Starbucks, under it says every moment matters, and there's a Starbucks little logo on it. It is a crummy point and shoot camera, probably rebranded from AliExpress. Instead of a viewfinder, Chris, it's your favorite. It has that instead of a viewfinder there, it's a selfie camera. It takes
perfect
from both sides of the camera. It looks like a piece of junk, and I'm sure they will sell lots of them because these are very popular right now.
Immediately, my wife said, "Where can I get one?"
So I kind of
I'm like,
I kind of want one too. You know what? I would have made
I'm
you
not
review
doing
it
a
if I could
video
get it.
about it, Jaron. I am not. I swear to God.
All right, if I can get my hands on one, I'm saving it until next year. By the way, for those listening, they do have a crummy camera to review this year. It will be coming.
Oh, yeah.
I made them do it. They do it every
Very
year.
quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This made me laugh, so I felt good about it. No comment from you two.
I was ready to chat about it until it turned out I might have to review it.
Did that story make me feel good? I don't know.
Well, maybe this will. I'm going to end the podcast here with a Christmas card from Lasse Arvidsson that he sent us, wishing us all a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. Yeah. Thank you all for joining us for season 4 of the PetaPixel podcast. We will see you all next year. The next episode is scheduled for January 7th. So we'll see you then.
Will it be
right?
entirely just tech support?
Probably not. All right.
Merry Christmas,
Thanks,
everybody. Happy holidays. See ya.
Bye.